the election mafia, the Democrats in Virginia, may have a massive, massive issue on their hands. The walking corpse, known as the Virginia GOP, has risen from the grave, and they may be making one of the greatest comebacks a state party has ever done in the history of the United States of America. Yesterday may be one of the biggest W's the Virginia GOP has had, probably decades. This was such a big win that I moved the Virginia governorship from a likely Democrat to a lean Democrat. And same thing for the Attorney General election. The Virginia GOP grew a brain, they went full big brain with this move. They picked two phenomenal candidates, one for the governorship and one for the Attorney General. Glenn Youngkin is the governor, who's going to run for governor and has a decent chance now, and Jason Myers for Attorney General. Now, I'm going to go over Jason Myers for a second. For an Attorney General candidate, he is solid on the issues. He wants to reform the police and actually make them do their job, protect our communities, defend the Second Amendment, punish actual criminals, not just let them off the streets because, they're black. That means they automatically must be let on the streets. And this is something I was surprised about. He wants to stop the left-wing agenda in Richmond. Now, I know we love to do a little trolling with the boomer cons about, like, the radical left. You know, like, radical left crap. But he wants to stop the kind of more so the establishment left wing. Now, again, it's far left radical agenda, but he makes it sound like it's more just the Democrat leadership itself, not just anything left of frickin' Rand Paul. Something like that. So, overall, he's a solid candidate. Now, I give him a 40-45% chance of winning. And he's a solid candidate overall. He has my full endorsement. But this is not about him, right? This was when I knew Republicans may be growing a brain in a couple of these states. Oh no, there's a certain candidate the Republicans picked that I was happy for. Glenn Youngkin. Now, originally he was my pick, but because I thought he was the best of the worst, right? There really wasn't anybody that good that could actually win in Virginia. But then after he won the nomination, I did a deep dive into his policies and stuff. And for somebody that grew up in Richmond and Virginia Beach, he's pretty freaking economically populist, nationalist, blue collar. I mean, look at this. This is from a Virginia GOP candidate who grew up in the Richmond suburbs in a more suburban part of Virginia Beach. He wants to go after big tech. He wants to restore Virginia's confidence in elections. Respect the sanctuary of human life. Make this a big part of your platform, please. This is going to help you with a lot of voters in Virginia and support our law enforcement heroes. And he wants to do some tax reform. He wants to give complete school choice. Guys, this is from somebody from Virginia. And this is such a big move for the Republicans. He's economically populist, socially conservative, running in Virginia. And the thing with Virginia is, if this was just a case and he grew up in some rural part that has like 5 people in it, like a county that has like 10 people in it, he would have zero chance. But instead, he grew up in the Richmond suburbs in the Virginia Beach area. Now, if you don't know this, those are 2 parts of the states the Republicans must max out and do a lot better in if they want any chance of winning the governorship. Now, you go over to the 2017 governorship election. You see the results. And Democrats won by 9. Northam, the post-birth abortion clown lunatic, won by 9. But this was kind of a subtle win. If you look at the deep numbers, the deep dive, the national environment, this is not that big of a win, considering. I mean, sure, you got 68% of the vote in Fairfax, 60% of the vote in Loudoun, compared to Trump, who got 38%, etc. But here's the thing, though. This was a blue wave year. And the fact of the matter is, you take into account the national environment, a lot of the Orange Man bad was reaching its peak. And the fact that the Republicans picked such a crappy candidate in general, that this was one of the worst candidates you could have possibly picked. And you go by the precinct level, and just look at the shift from 2016. You want to know why the Republicans didn't fare well there? Just ignore Nova, because that's a complete mess. Instead, just go to Richmond. Right here, look at Richmond. It all shifted heavily towards the Democrats. Go to Virginia Beach. Look at this. Look at this. Outside of Portsmouth, the entire thing swung heavy towards the Democrats. You just keep going, and this is absurd what happened here. But that's not all. Look at the rural part of the state. Look how much is shifted towards the Democrats. Look at Roanoke. Look at just all of these more rural, exurban cities or towns. They shifted heavy towards the Democrats. And yes, Republicans did slightly better in Nova, but not saying much. They did awful in the Richmond area. Just a disaster in the Virginia Beach area. A complete and total disaster. Now again, a lot of these gains were a bit misleading. Trump's base were not coming out to vote, alright? Realistically, they really did not like Gillespie. He was not that good of a candidate. I mean, you look at some of these results. You look at Lee County, for example. Trump got 80% of the vote, while Gillespie got 79%. But look at that vote drop-off. 7,500 votes to only 5,200. You go to Fairfax, Trump got around 157,000, while the Republican got 117,000. And there's really, there is a kind of a big drop-off toward the Democrats, but realistically, it's a bigger drop-off for the Republicans when you account for the vote shares. And again, look at the Virginia Beach area. 47% of the vote, while Trump in 2016 got 48% of the vote. I mean, Republicans did awful. Completely awful against Trump's base out in 2017, I should say. Now again, with this being a red wave year, and the fact of the matter is we're seeing some suburban elections happening already in Texas. New Mexico's first will have a special election. They're indicating that, a lot of these suburban shifts, like in let's say Richmond, Virginia Beach, little bit of Nova. I'm going to say more so this part of Nova, not Alexandria. That's staying Democrat. But point is, a lot of these suburban swings that you're seeing across the board, they're going to, probably a big chunk of them are going to swing back Republican. And also you're going to see a lot of these precincts that are rural, exurban, etc., they're going to shift heavy towards Republicans because it's a populist platform, an economic populist, social conservative who is from the Richmond area and Virginia Beach area. He grew up in both areas. He can appeal to those voters, max out that vote turnout. And I personally believe 45% chance he wins. As of now, I do think he'll lose by 3 to 4. But the fact that Republicans are picking this candidate is a good sign for a potential resurgence of the Virginia GOP. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, smash a like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.